great fight. I'm telling you, both of the guys are very skillful, very talented.
Absolutely.
And my opinion about what I think they are don't really make the fight.
Right, absolutely.
How them guys fight that night. We both of us know that both of the fighters are great fighters. So, it's just who can actually make the move that's.
Former undisputed world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield has now joined Terence Crawford in his. Getting ready for the Canelo fight when boxing legends like Holyfield appear. You don't work out, you listen. That's what Crawford did for the majority of Holyfield's visit, with the exception of the moment when he attempted some shadow boxing and pad punching while Holyfield watched. Clearly, Terence Crawford means business and isn't taking any of Canelo Alvarez's threats lightly. Crawford means this fight with all of his life and is prepared to give it his all. Evander Holyfield, who achieved success at both cruiserweight and heavyweight during his career, is another man who understands what it's like to be undisputed in multiple divisions. For this reason, Holyfield met with Crawford and shared his thoughts on how he believes the Canelo versus Crawford fight will proceed, telling Fight Hub TV that he believes it will be too much for Crawford and that it will be difficult to defeat Canelo because he is a very basic but skilled fighter. But Crawford has what it takes.
That's necessary and get the guy before you get got. And so, that's the art of the game of boxing. It's about how you going to proceed to take it from him, but finding a way how to take it from him. If you just as strong as me, if you just as fast as me, I know I just can't run up there any kind of way. Can't nobody run up from me that any kind of way because they going to get it.
Absolutely.
And so, this going to be a technical fight that both of these guys will find out what.
Crazy like that before. It's just that he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it.
You posted the other day, there's a picture of you in a Rolls Royce, and you said, the quote is, "I can't remember how many of these I gave away." Tell me about that.
Yes, I don't know. I guess when you used to having money, it's when I had money, you're not accustomed to that shit, man.
Yeah, but not a...
Holyfield claims that although Canelo is a very talented fighter with great striking power, he occasionally displays indications of fatigue in long-duration battles. Canelo's defensive abilities can occasionally be inconsistent, leaving him vulnerable to opponents' attacks due to lapses in concentration or overly aggressive movements. Tyson used the fight against Bivol as an example, stating that this can result in decreased precision and power in his punches, which can be exploited by opponents who are able to survive the early rounds and take advantage of Canelo's fatigue in the later stages of the fight.
Who's hosting a big night rugby today?
They never let us down, bro. We're definitely
It will be a tough one today, huh?
Yeah, I think it'll be tough.
Who's
What are
gonna
you you
win?
voting for?
Crawford.
Okay.
Everyone wants to know what you're going to do to Jake Paul in a few months' time.
When facing opponents like Crawford, who are adept at making accurate shots and taking advantage of their opponent's errors, this defensive inconsistency may be an issue. According to Holyfield, Canelo can also be vulnerable when facing opponents with strong footwork and mobility. He has clearly found it difficult to keep up with fighters like Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant, who employ these techniques. Because of his more direct and aggressive style, Canelo may find it challenging to adjust to opponents who are always moving and establishing angles.
Hey, Mike. Mike, Canelo Crawford. Crawford's in the building. Canelo fights this weekend. What do you think of that fight?
Where's the fight gonna be at?
Well, they say in Vegas, maybe in September, but Canelo's got to get through.